Welcome, welcome, beloved Sangha. We will now have a question and answer session with our guest, Lama Dawa Zangmo.
Okay, I have 12 questions. I'll do my best to answer all of them. So, first question. Now we gathered for Drupchen, encouraged by Druvan Konchok Norbu Rinpoche. A few years ago, a tsatsa of his was offered for auction that I pledged money for, but due to change in employment, I was not able to fulfill the pledge. Will I be born as a hungry ghost for these infractions? Is there anything to purify my karma? I have always felt close to Druvan Rinpoche and witnessed a large rainbow around the full moon at the time of his death. I am very sorry to disappoint him when he was so kind to me. Due to karmic circumstances, your status changed and you were not able to fulfill your pledge. But because you were not able to buy this tsatsa, somebody else was able to buy this tsatsa. So in this way, if you think in this way, actually you helped somebody, you created situation for somebody to practice generosity. And so if you perceived in this way, it's actually good. Might be good things that that this happens. So on the Dharma path, everything depends on how you perceive things. So it can be negative karma if you perceive it negatively, or it can be merit if you perceive in such a way. So try to see globally, try to see how it affects others. And so because somebody else was able to buy this tsatsa, somebody else was able to practice generosity, and this actually created merit for you. So as you, in your question, I see that you felt very close to Druvan Rinpoche and you have a great devotion toward him. So this is the best offering, and this is best offering to keep connection with Lama. If we see it like that then we accumulate merit no matter what karmic circumstances arise. And also, you cannot disappoint Buddha. The only thing you can disappoint yourself if you perceive things through not very pure concepts. But if you always have devotion, you always please your guru, because devotion, that's what makes great connection, and that's what connects your mind with the mind of your guru, and that's what helps you to reach enlightenment. Another question. I was interested in the symbolism of the moon and the sun and Hung. Is the phenomenal world, maybe Hung, born from the union of the sun and moon? So if we speak about Vajrayana tradition, we speak about channels and drops. So sun represents red tigle and moon represent white drop. So through practicing drops, we actually can realize ultimate bodhicitta, which is nature of our mind. Then also we can see these symbols in different sadhanas, in different yidam sadhanas. So usually sun represents awareness. Sun represents fire that burns away ignorance of negative emotions, and that can be done through awareness. And moon represents calming of negative emotions, which can be done through wisdom, through recognition of skillful means. And as a result, again, we liberate negative emotions, which leads to recognition of ultimate nature of our mind. And also, there are so many explanations of this symbolism. For example, when consciousness travel in the Bardo, then drops of mother and father meet together, and that results into consciousness obtaining physical body. And If we practice Yidam Yoga, through practice of Yidam Yoga, we actually purify this concept. And if we recognize this in a Bardo state, we actually can realize Yidam deity in the Bardo. I struggle with being around loved ones and colleagues who do not follow the Dharma and engage in all sorts of non-virtuous actions towards their own selves and others. If I distance myself from these people to practice with teachers and Sangha instead, I cause loved ones and co-workers suffer because they feel rejected and judged. If I do not, I become distracted and my self-grasping increases. How can I best integrate my worldly duties with my practice until my compassion and wisdom become stronger? So in Vajra tradition, we use skillful means. As Garinpoche was telling many times that in Milarepa Sanghs, it says that yogis must possess great intelligence. And that means that yogi must be able to recognize what kind of skillful means he or she needs to use in order to transform any appearances into Dharma path. And actually, if we remember, the Dharma path, it's actually lays in mind, but the outer aspects are only helping elements, are only skillful means to help us transform our mind. So actually, Dharma path is transformation of our own mind. It means that anything that arises in our life becomes the path to enlightenment if we use any situation for transformation of our mind. So basically, we become aware of our reactions, even that things that you are aware of reactions of your coworkers, and you understand that your Dhamma practice causes them to suffer. It's already recognition that you need to use skillful means. So most important, if people who surround you have negative attitude to Dharma, not to provoke them, not to speak openly about this, but if you remember the Dharma practice is we won't speak about bodhisattva path. For example, Dharma practice is about love and compassion. Bodhisattva practice lay in helping others to be free from suffering and from causes of suffering, what is most important. And causes of suffering are habitual tendencies and emotions that arise that we do not recognize. So there are so many ways to practice Dharma in daily life with your coworkers, with your loved ones. So if you help them to habituate to right actions, to love and compassion, that's a real Dharma practice. And also you can use skillful means based on your own practice. For example, if you practice Guru Yoga or Yidam Yoga, it's very helpful to visualize your Guru or Yidam above heads of anyone that you speak to or in their hearts. And imagine that you're actually talking to your Yidam or to your Guru. Your Guru or Yidam represents nature of mind that every sentient being has. And also, your friends might not understand this symbolism, but when you perceive them through your Guru or through Yidam, you help them to awaken the quality of their nature of mind. And even though they might not be practicing Buddhist practices, the essence of their mind, the quality of the nature of their mind will be awakened, and it will make a strong imprint in their mind that will help them to choose right path to liberation. I do not remember exactly how Garchen Rinpoche said it, but at least twice during his teachings, he mentioned that he had some unresolved emotional obstacles. What is the purpose of seeing him as a Buddha or efforting to perceive him as a Buddha if he himself says that he has unresolved emotional obstacles? Should I not trust his own perception of his emotional obstacles, or did he just say that to be humble, or what am I missing? Or maybe Buddha still have unresolved emotional obstacles because they have not yet attained the rainbow body. How should I view all of this? It's important to understand when holy beings take rebirth in human body, they have to take some karma in order to manifest human body. So they have to manifest some karma in order to connect with sentient beings that have karma. And of course, that results in some emotions and some emotional issues. And through these connections to other sentient beings, actually it helps them to purify their karma. So difference between what we speak about emotional issues, whenever we experience some situation, the reaction or emotions get imprinted in our mind, and then it arises in different situations. We experience the same emotion and again and again. For example, when we think of the person with whom we had emotional issue, then again and again we give rise to the same emotion. This is example of habitual tendency that arises again and again when conditions manifest. So the difference between ordinary beings and such beings as Garchen Rinpoche or a Buddha, whenever these emotions arise, Buddha does not grasp at it, but Buddha liberates and through recognition of it. So, and you can see Rinpoche is not suffering. Rinpoche is in a state of bliss. This is actually a proof that he is not grasping for whatever emotional issues he claims he has. So basically, he using these emotional issues in order to keep connected with sentient beings and in order to help them to liberate their karmic imprints. So that's a difference between ordinary being and non-ordinary being. So, and we totally can practice the same way as Garchen Rinpoche practices, because we all have nature of mind. The only issue that we are grasping at ourselves, or whenever emotion arises, we do not recognize that. But Buddhist path gives many skillful means in order to transform whatever negative emotions we have. And there are so many means in sadhanas and practice of shamatha, vipassana, mahamudra, and guru yoga, and contemplation, and giving rise compassion. There are like thousands and thousands skillful means. If we have taken refuge with Garchen Rinpoche and received Chenrezig empowerment many times, but have not received the lung for the particular text, are we allowed to practice it at home alone, or can Garchen Rinpoche bestow the lung? So different lamas have different view regarding that. Of course, it's good to receive lung. Yet, if you haven't received lung to this particular sadhana, you recite it together with assembly. And if assembly received lung, while reciting together with assembly, you actually receiving lung. But Garchen Rinpoche usually says, especially about practice of Chenrezig, Chenrezig is a manifestation of love. Love is natural quality of nature of our mind. So basically, we are not practicing something that is foreign to us. We are practicing our own mind, but because we do not recognize it yet, we need to use skillful means of practicing outer sadhana or deities that we visualize outside. But even if we close our eyes and do this visualization, we can see this visualization appears in our mind. So this visualization is actually manifestations of deity. So Chenrezig is actually present, is our mind, and if we understand that, we can practice without lung. That's what Garchen Rinpoche says. Do we count prayer wheel accumulations with our vocal mani accumulations? No, we don't, because prayer wheel counts itself. That's what Lama says. You don't have to count. It will be too much conceptualization, and prayer will just spread the power, the blessing of mantras in this world and in the other worlds. So you don't have to think about this. When we do the Sölkha Dharma protector practice, do we have to set up specific offerings? So yes, specific offerings which we set up during Sölkha Dharma protector practice are Sölkha and 3 tormas. Usually they stand there on altar. If you will see how we do this practice, so there is 1 red one and 2 brown ones. So they are Mahakala, Achi, and Tsuring tormas, and you see the small parts attached at the bottom of those tormas. That's those retinues. But in reality, these 3 tormas represent all Drikunkagyu Dharma protectors. So don't think it just only represents Achi, Mahakala, and Tsuring. So, and when you offer that, you take Sölkha in your right hand and you take tormas in your left hand, and you leave the temple. So you offer Sölkha first. You offer Sölkha, and then you take this container from Sölkha to your left hand. Usually they put it between fingers, so it's just practical. And you keep tormas then in your right hand, and when you offer, don't just throw on the ground, but throw up. So imagine it just goes up. And after this offering, you come back to your altar. You clear the plate from the tormas, and usually we just clean the cup from Sölkha and leave it. But Garchen Rinpoche asks us to fill the cup with Sölkha again and leave it overnight for the next day. He says the dharmas always come. It's not that they once they come and then they disappear. They're always present. They're always here. So it's very great merit to keep this offering for Dharmapalas and protectors on the shrine. Despite years of practice, I find that all imprints of trauma and upset in the mind keep resurfacing. I had issues with my stepfamily years ago and want to see them all as Buddhas with adventitious stains, as Rinpoche has recommended. But I need to transform my own negative mind states. I am dedicating this retreat to overcoming my defilements to this regard. Do you have any recommendations for cutting through on a swift basis, as the dialogue has become really old? Of course, it's very good to dedicate group practice to purifying, to overcoming old memories, old traumas, because it's actually purifying your own mind. Then accumulated merit of everyone who partaken in this retreat. We receive this accumulated merit, and it's very good to offer it because it's actually for a good case. You offer it to purify your own mind for the sake of all beings. Actually, when we have big traumas and we have very strong emotional reaction, that makes very strong, very deep imprints in our mind. And this actually imprints is karma, because karma is located in our own mind. And those imprints, they create karmic habitual tendencies. What does it mean? Every time we remember about this family or about this situation or about that person, we have karmic tendency experience the same emotion. And if we don't recognize it, so that every time we experience the same emotion, we plant new karmic seed in our mind. So that old trauma is not liberated, it actually becomes deeper and stronger. So, and if we don't recognize it, it will not liberate by itself. So, and if it's very old karma, you need patience and discipline to dissolve it. Of course, if you know how to practice nature of mind, how to remain in state of Mahamudra, you can use that method, yeah? You can liberate the reaction or your thought as soon as it appears. But if it's hard sometimes to do, sometimes it's easy to do, sometimes it's very difficult to do. So we use different methods. The first method is to recognize. And as you are aware of this problem, it means that you're already recognizing it. But the most important is to be able to recognize it every time it's arising. So when we are able to recognize it when it's arising, then we can apply skillful means to transform those emotions. So basically, there are many methods, but it's very important to understand when we don't have awareness, then it's actually we're trapped by these emotions. We cannot transform it, and we also need strong concentration. Why do we need strong concentration? If we are not able to liberate emotions into nature of mind, we use methods which use concepts. Like Idam yoga is a conceptual method of liberation too, and or even like we speak about shamatha. I can give example of shamatha. In shamatha, with object, we concentrate on object. So when we one-pointedly concentrate, while we concentrate one-pointedly on an object, at this time, like all our energy gathers in this place of concentration. So basically, there is no energy to feed our karmic habitual tendencies. So whatever thoughts and emotions arise, those that we do not recognize. So if we concentrate on object, they don't have, it's like we don't feed them. They don't get food. So, and they starve. And then we say like mind calms down. That's what happens during shamatha practice. And when our mind calms down, the awareness is starting to appear. Actually, awareness does not appear. Awareness is always there, because awareness is a natural quality of our nature of mind. But because we have this chaotic movement of our karmic habitual tendencies, which we do not recognize, we don't see that awareness. But in order to cultivate awareness, we actually don't have to create it or like make effort to cultivate awareness. We just have to calm our mind down. And in order to calm all those thoughts down, we just have concentrate in a proper way. And this we speak like about shamatha practice. With the same thing happens in deity practice. We also concentrate on seed syllable. The same thing happens in guru practice. We concentrate on guru. The difference also, we activate blessings there. Yeah, the difference between shamatha and idam yoga is that in idam yoga and guru yoga we activate all this. We kind of activate all this blessing of the lineage, while in shamatha we just calm down our mind. But if your mind is calm and you still keep concentrating on the object, that at some point you noticed that this aspect of awareness manifests by itself. It's actually become seen. So, and in order to tame our mind and get rid of all these habitual tendencies, it's very important to learn how to concentrate properly, one-pointedly, no matter what object of concentration you use. Also, and if you have this awareness, it's much easier to recognize when this negative emotion appears and apply skillful means. Also, Guru Yoga, from my own experience, Guru Yoga is one of the most powerful, skillful means, because when you concentrate on your Guru, if you have strong devotion to your Guru, your mind opens up. And when your mind is concentrated on Guru and have strong devotion at the same time, your ego disappears. You cannot have at the same time ego and devotion. And so basically what happens, because through devotion your ego disappears, the blessing of lineage enters your mind. This is also a concept, the blessing of lineage enters your mind. The blessing of lineage is always in your mind. Because blessing of lineage is the nature of mind, which is always present in your mind. It's just like it's your natural quality. And so, but through a confusion, because we perceive things through duality, we use this concept of outer guru. But having devotion to pure being, this opens our mind, and we actually experience the blessing of guru. At the same time, all suffering of negative emotions disappear. The thing is, as soon as we turn our mind away, or like we start to conceptualize things, the old habitual tendencies appear. So in this way, also very good to practice Yidam yoga. When we recite mantra, we actually one-pointedly concentrate on seed syllable. And because we concentrate on seed syllable, our mind cannot wander. So whatever negative emotion appears, whatever habitual tendencies appear, when we concentrate on mantra, basically we transform the energy that goes for feeding negative emotion into this mantra. This is transformation through Yidam yoga. And with time, as we concentrate more and more on mantra, it has a qualities, it has an ability to awake pure quality of our mind, of our natural mind. So in this way, karmical tendencies will become lesser and lesser and lesser, and sometimes during reciting mantra, you will experience natural mind. So, and you continue practice, or you stop, and you just stay in this natural mind. As soon as you notice concepts come back, you go back to mantra. And so that's why we speak about multiple mantra accumulation, because if you really concentrate properly on mantra, so for a long time you develop this habit to transform whatever concepts arise into the mantra of deity. So that's the methods actually to liberate ourselves from old karmical habitual tendencies, but it does not, also it might happen in a moment if you understand nature of mind, but as soon as you actually, as soon as concepts arise, you will have, your karma kicks in. So when you are in state of Mahamudra, your karma does not accumulate, but when, and does not, the seeds of karma do not, unless they're already developed, unless situation already manifested, but all seeds that are deeply inside, they do not manifest. But as soon that you lose the state of mind, your karma kicks in. So it's very important to apply awareness. And why I'm speaking about Guru Yoga or mantra recitation, because if you lose the state of mind, natural state of mind, you have skillful means to come back right away. So you develop this habit to go back to mantra as soon as you lose the state of mind, this natural state of mind. So yeah, you need patience and diligence in order to, but these methods are working. And sometimes you might need to use one method, or another time you can use another method. So use your intelligence to choose, try like actually Dharma path, yogi path is about lots of experimentation. You actually, there is no right method or wrong method. The right method is method that is working for you, but for that you also need to experiment. And sometimes like you need time to understand what works for you in different situations. Why is it so important to take refuge vows if I already value love and compassion and prioritize those qualities in my life? Why do I have to label myself Buddhist? I don't really like labels. I also have a question about devotion. How can we know that this does not become attachment? So, of course, whether to take refuge vows or not, it's totally up to you, like Garchen Rinpoche mentioned today. Yeah, the essence of path is practicing love and compassion, but we speak about relative love, which is directed toward beings, and we speak about unconditioned love, which is a natural quality of the nature of mind. And in order to manifest that quality, we need to be able to experience nature of mind. So if you have natural tendency to feel love and compassion in your daily activities, it already means that you have good karmic tendencies and good connection to Dharma. When I speak Dharma, I do not necessarily mean Buddhism. I mean a path that leads to liberation. It's very important to understand that Buddhism, this is kind of composition or combination of methods, of skillful means to attain full liberation. And when we speak about full liberation, we are speaking about realizing nature of your mind. In order to realize nature of mind, just love and just love that we experience toward particular beings is not enough. So because now we understand, in this life we understand this quality, how important is that. But what happens if you travel to state of Bardo? In Bardo, our mind works completely different. In Bardo, all kinds of karmic seeds made manifest. And if we experience some negative emotions or fear, that's made manifest in certain realm even before we feel some love and compassion. So, and also if we are reborn in future life, what happens if we if circumstances manifests when nobody teaches us about love? It's good if we have right now this good karmic tendencies. What Refuge is doing, when we take refuge from the Lama, we take refuge from the Lama that has connections to this lineage, lineage of blessing of realized masters. So it means like masters who were using these methods and who through these methods realize the nature of mind. And basically your intention to reach enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings meets intention of Lama, who has all blessing, who represents blessing of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So that makes such a powerful imprint in your mind that it will always remain until your liberation, no matter what circumstances you're experiencing, where are you traveling in future life. So this actually why we say like this is protection from all circumstances which may otherwise create wrong views or does not help to recognize what is good, what is bad. So we're speaking about ultimate protection that will help you to stay fortunate or like to practice fortune and accumulate merit until you reach enlightenment. So about devotion, to lamas, how can we know that this does not become an attachment? At the beginning, it may be attachment. So like it depends on our level of practice, but so we have outer lama and we have love towards outer lama, and it's also we have strong attachment to our lama, but that's okay because we have attachment to this pure being with pure conduct, and we have faith in his or her teachings, and we follow the advice. Through this attachment actually becomes skillful means for us to transform our negative karmic tendencies. And through gradual purification of our mind, the attachment to our I lessens, and as our I disappears, it reflects in less attachment toward our lama. And when our I completely disappears and we are able to perceive the nature of our mind, we realize the nature of our mind is the same with nature of our mind of our lama, and it's always there. So basically our lama is always in our mind. So we realize our inner lama. So there is no attachment then to outer lama. Isn't the accumulation of merit ultimately an obstacle to meditation? By wanting to accumulate merit, are we not grasping at nirvana? At the beginning, we might perceive it like that. At the beginning, we think, oh, I'll accumulate merit because it will help me in meditation, and it will help me to reach, to obtain liberation. But it's okay. We all perceive Dharma paths according to our karmic habitual tendencies. And it's still okay as long as we accept this ethical approach, as we follow teachings of the Dharma. And even so at the beginning, it might be obstacle to the, we also speak about different levels of meditation, yeah? So, and when we speak about ultimate bodhicitta or state or Mahamudra or Dzogchen, at the beginning, this attachment to merit actually can create obstacles, but it's okay because at the beginning, what is creating the biggest obstacle to experience natural mind, our habitual tendencies and our grasping. It's better to grasp for something that creates merit than for something that creates negative karma. So, and through following instructions of Dharma, we gradually purify our mind and purify our grasping, because we actually grasp not for merit, we grasp for I. But using the methods, the grasping to I becomes lesser and disappears. And at the end, actually, we are able, through accumulated merit, we are able to experience nature of mind. It is said it's impossible to experience the natural state of mind without great accumulated merit. So, and we need the six paramitas, six paramitas as a great skillful means to accumulate boundless merit, because merit accumulated when we perform actions for the sakes of all beings. Any actions can be skillful means for helping other. And so at the at the beginning, we try to follow Dharma teachings to liberate ourselves, but gradually our I will, the grasping to our I will diminish, and we will be able to practice Dharma without grasping to merit. What does Shantideva means by the phrase, mind cannot be seen by mind, in the wisdom chapter of Bodhicharyavatara? Isn't it our mind that we examine when our thoughts stop momentarily in meditation? So we can speak about mind from dualistic point of view. So that's when we try examine our mind, and we can speak about mind like from ultimate state of mind. So here we speak mind cannot be seen by mind. We speak about ultimate state of the mind. So even phrase, this concept, mind cannot be seen by mind, means that there is subject and there is object. There is one who sees and one that can be seen. That's already duality. And that duality is not the nature of mind, because the state of the natural state of mind is beyond concept. So we use different concepts to understand how our mind works, the quality of our mind. But actually, to see or experience this mind, we need to go beyond this concept. And this state of mind cannot be predicted or pre-planned. Experience of Mahamudra, you cannot sit down and think like now, or like I practice 2 months of shamatha, 2 months of vipassana, and then I practice 2 months of Mahamudra. You can plan whatever you want, but the state of Mahamudra will open up spontaneously as a result of the merit of the right concentration. And of course, the fastest way to experience natural state of mind is guru yoga and strong devotion to your guru. This is from my own experience. So that's why we also say that this is Vajrayana path, because every practice in Vajrayana has guru yoga. So every practice, whatever practice you do, Yidam, this is guru appearing in form of Yidam. Nyondro, there is guru in every part of Nyondro. So guru yoga is a main aspect of Vajrayana path. And if you understand this and you practice devotion in every practice, that's the fastest way to experience Mahamudra. So basically, state of Mahamudra, we experience spontaneously, and in that state, we do not examine. So when we speak about examination of our state, this is not Mahamudra state. When we're in Mahamudra state, there is no effort, there is no movement, or there is no decision to do that or that. The Mahamudra state is a total presence here and now, and in this state of mind, awareness. This is the aspect that actually sees and recognizes what actually happens there. And this aspect is a natural quality of our mind. This is when we speak about dualistic state of mind, when we work with concepts, and for example, with the help of practice of shamatha, we open up awareness. There is still duality, because there is awareness which we use to recognize whatever happens in our mind. Instead of Mahamudra, we do not direct anything or anywhere. State of Mahamudra and awareness that is a state of Mahamudra is a natural quality of our mind. The same as unconditioned love. We don't have to do anything to produce this love. It is there. As soon as you are in this natural state, these qualities will be present. And also, whenever we experience state of Mahamudra, we just being in this state accumulate endless merit. So that's about mind cannot be seen by mind. So, and because we speak about mind a lot, it can be very confusing. What do we mean? Like whether we mean the conceptual state when we examine, or we need state of Mahamudra where do not examine. But actually, it's impossible to explain natural state of mind. It's impossible. Whatever books you read, whatever teachings you listen on nature of mind, they are just skillful means so you can actually experience it. And for example, when Rinpoche gives teachings about nature of mind, he is using concept, but through this concept, you receive the actually message from his own state of mind. Whatever you, even when you experience the nature of mind during his teachings of Rinpoche, when receiving his instruction, it's actually he's transmitting his experience. And this experience is transmitted because you have devotion, you open your heart and your mind to your guru. When I experienced this first time, I even did not speak English language. I was at Rinpoche's teachings, and I could not understand really what Rinpoche was talking about, but I had such a strong devotion that I was able to experience this state of mind. And actually to experience it's much easier than to understand it through concepts. We get so wrapped up about concepts which describes the nature of mind, but this is not nature of mind. To experience, we need to use skillful means. Devotion, right concentration on guru, on mantra, and that's why it's good to do retreats, drup chan, when you one-pointedly concentrate on a mantra. That's the quickest way to experience state of Mahamudra. And when you're in daily life, so use your daily life as path to the enlightenment, because your path in your mind. Use any activity to accumulate merit. Use any activities to bring happiness to others and to help others to remove these habitual tendencies to negative actions. That also creates a stable mind, which will help you to experience natural state of mind. And there is another question. Finish, yeah? So is there a... Okay, so thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Lama Dawa Zangmo, for your generosity and your time and your wisdom in speaking with us. We will take a short 15-minute break. We return at 2 p.m. and continue with our Red Chenrezig and Mani Pill Blessing Sadhana.